Hello everyone. We are still out here at the Manatee County Fair in Palmetto, Florida. Today is Wednesday night. Really cold Wednesday night on January the 22nd, 2020. We've just finished up for the day. Very cold, unsatisfying day, and we are now having stew in the camper. I got a bowl of it too. I'm just letting it cool for a minute. And then there's Danielle's over here. And there's Montana relaxing. Okay, I'm turning the camera on because I had my first reject of the year on Monday, and I wanted to tell the story, but I wanted to tell in a time like this we could get a good reaction from Lo and Liz and Danielle as other artists to see what they think of the story. Okay, so this is what happened. This is like late at night, and we're willing to make deals out here. You can negotiate the price down. And so we had a sign out that said $10 special. And so I'm talking to one of the artists from the other booth, and he's like, he points to her behind me, and this lady's coming up behind me, and she says, "How much for 3 people?" Or no, it was, can you do 3 people in one drawing? I said, yeah, we can. That would be 30, because we're doing $10 specials, $10 for each person. Really? I thought it was $10 per drawing.
And that's where you went wrong, because you took the sketch after that. That was never going to end well.
Yeah, you can tell where this is going, right?
That was never going to end well.
I said, well, the more people are in it, the longer it takes, the harder it is, and therefore it's going to cost more. The price is $10 per person. She's like, I don't think I can pay 30. I said, okay, well, what would work for you? So we're willing to negotiate. She goes, well, maybe 15.
Oh, that's horrible.
I'm thinking to myself, well, that comes down to $5 per face, which we've done before. That's not unheard of. I said, okay, fine. I mean, I'm not doing anything else anyway. I'll do 15 for 3 people in black and white. She goes, in black and white? Yes. You see this look? I said, yeah, in black and white. She's like, would you add color if I made it 16?
You can color one eyeball, maybe.
I said, no. She goes, 17? Oh boy, she went up $1. It's helping the motivation.
I can't believe that you continued a conversation with this woman, because I would have been done a long time ago.
Really? I just really wanted to draw someone. I was really bored. And said, okay, I'll do it for 20. That's how desperate I was to draw somebody. And she didn't even really agree to that. She just finally sat down. All right, so and then she gets her other kid over. It's going to be her, a little girl, and a little boy. And first thing she says is, I need to warm up my hands. I need to do something to warm up my hands. It was almost as though she expected me to like go grab her hands and like warm her hands up. I was like, and I just didn't respond to that. I mean, what are you gonna do? That's your own problem. Put your hands in your pockets. So I get through the first one, which was the little girl, and I thought, man, I got this pretty good, you know. But she kind of gets up and leans over and looks, and she goes, "That don't look like London."
And you continue to draw after this?
Let me finish. Let me finish.
I would have absolutely packed up and left.
That don't look like London. Right?
Like, this transaction's over.
I would never.
At this point, I actually ripped the drawing off, tucked it in the back, and said, I'm sorry, guys, I tried.
Good.
All right. And she gets up and kind of paces around and sits her kids back down. She's like sitting them back down. I think they were getting a little antsy. And she goes, well, okay, let me see it again. And I showed it to her again. She's like, I don't know. And there were some other kids that had gathered around by this point. She goes, does that look like London? And all of them kind of go, yeah, it does. She's like, I just don't know. And she sits back down. She goes, well, are you going to start over? I said, no. She's like, well, are you going to finish that one? I said, no. I'm done. I'm done. I said, I gave it a good try, and you didn't like it. I'm done. I'm not doing it. and what's bad is, like, while she was sitting there and I was doing the first part of the sketch, she was actually looking at my YouTube channel. So she actually had her son, like, take note of the YouTube channel. So she might actually be watching this. I don't know. But,
so to you, lady, and to, like, everyone else out there, like, that's not how you go about doing it.
no.
That was all wrong.
Okay, number one.
Disrespectful.
If I'm giving you what we would normally sell for $60, and I've finally agreed to do it for $20. The last thing you want to do is start being picky.
So,
right?
One note to you. Don't sell yourself that short. It's not worth the time. It's not. You're worth far more than that. Your art is worth far more than that.
Well, the thing is, too, is, like, she also said, I came by earlier and you were doing one that was perfect. It was this one over here. And she goes over and points at one on the vinyl sign.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of yours.
Oh my God.
Right? And she said, only the lips weren't so big. I'm thinking to myself, lady, do you think I redrew it with smaller lips? And then ran it to the store and had it printed in vinyl and now it's on the wall? I mean,
oh my God.
This was just like, you're right, I should have just stopped right there.
So, okay, what was the very first thing she said?
First thing she said was, can you put 3 people in a drawing? And then when I said that'll be 30, she said, oh, I thought it was 10 just for the drawing.
Okay,
I guess it wouldn't matter how many people was in it.
A few things you could have said at that point. Well, when you go to the movies and y'all sit in the same row, how many tickets do you buy? Or when you get cheeseburgers, they put them all on the same plate. How many burgers you pay for?
Yeah.
You are all individual human beings.
Yes. Okay, so my question to you 3 now is, was that a rejection? Does that count as a rejection?
I'm going to say yes, because I think next time I don't want you to take that sketch. Like, when they're balking at the price that much, one, get paid first.
Get paid ahead of time.
Get paid ahead of time. They tend to not reject it if they've already given you their money.
Okay.
That's what I should have done in my situation. But yeah, I mean, like, get paid first, or just don't take. You know how it's gonna end. At this point.
At this point, yeah, I could.
You know how
I could tell that was just gonna be a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
How did she finally, like, walk away?
She finally got a clue because she was still sitting there, and I was just sitting there not drawing. She's like, "Well, are you gonna start? Are you gonna finish it?" And I just said no. She finally just got up and left.
That was raw bacon.
So Danielle, would you say that's a rejection?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so we got 2 yes. That was a rejection. We got 2 yeses here. Liz, rejection?
To me, a rejection is if you finish a sketch and then someone says, I'm not paying for it.
Well,
but you
okay.
stopped it
I stopped it.
before you got
But
that
she
far.
said that doesn't look like London. You know, I could tell that she was going to say that about the next kid.
Yeah.
And she definitely would have said that about her own drawing.
Yeah, true.
Okay, a soft reject. Okay,
Soft
that's a good one. Okay, so Danielle's she's put it right. Okay, we can all agree that was a soft reject. Now let's talk about a hard reject. we gotta hear.
That was actually like a really good segue.
I know it's really good. So
it's really natural.
I wanted to also tell the story about. I wanted Lo to tell the story about one of the worst rejects that happened last year. This was at the middle of the Ohio State Fair. I tried to get a video of this story while I was there, but there was just so much going on. And anyway, let's hear it. Are you ready?
Gosh.
You want to tell the story?
Okay.
Okay.
So when they first walked up, I talked them into it by doing 2 for $20 deal.
Right.
And they seemed really cool. Like, they were excited, and they had been drawn before and they didn't like it, and I was just, so I said, hey, you might not like caricatures, but at the end you're gonna have to pay no matter what. So and I even asked him, I was like, did you pay the artist before when you didn't like it? And he said, oh yeah, of course I paid him. So I draw it, and they're like looking at it the whole time and loving it. So like I'm safe. I know it's all gonna go good. He's talking about how I got his waves perfect, and she was like, oh, my earrings look amazing, and lots of compliments because they kept peeking, and everything was fine.
It was a great drawing.
It was a great sketch. It was a great sketch.
I actually just so happened to walk over there. And
you got there at like the very tail end, and they were happy. They were happy, and then we get up to the register, and I tell him the price, and he looks in his wallet, and I feel like he didn't have the money, because then immediately he's like, wait a minute, I don't even like this, I'm not going to pay for it. And he's like, why? Look at the way you did my hair. And I'm like, 2 seconds ago, you loved how I did your waves, like, and now it's a totally different story. And then now he's like shredding me, like, you don't know what you're doing, look at this line's all fat and that line's all thin. I have fantastic line quality, so no sir. And I just stuck by my sketch. I was like, if I didn't like it, I would redraw it for you, I would let somebody else redraw, or I'd just let you walk away, I don't care. But this is a good sketch, and you liked it 2 seconds ago, and all of a sudden you don't like it. He's like, well, I'm seeing it in the light now, or something. I'm like, come on. So, I don't know. They asked you to redraw it.
That's right, yeah, because I was there like, do you draw? I said, would you redraw it? Because we're really not happy with it. I'm like, well, my drawing board's all the way over to the other booth.
Yeah, and you were like, and it's a good sketch.
It's like, and mine's not going to be any better than this.
So, yeah, I was like a standstill. I was like, well, you need to pay.
And they also said, we expected it to look like this. And they pointed at one on the wall. And the one they pointed at was one of yours.
They pointed with my sketches. They're like, we want it in this style. I was like, you got it in that style. Oh my goodness.
Digging a further hole.
Yeah, I
know.
Like,
they were just like
chewing
on their own shoe at that point.
So I said, if you don't pay me, this is theft of services. I'm not going to stand for it. Like, there was nobody waiting. It was a completely dead midway. I would have never done this had there been like anyone within earshot. But I was like, this is theft of services. You're not going to leave without paying me. And so they just like walk away, and they get on the ride in front of the stand, like right to the side of the stand, the teacups. And like they're on the teacups, and I'm like, oh, I'm just like sitting there getting so mad. And so I like flagged down a cop.
She flagged down a cop. She got the police involved.
And I was like, look, these people have stolen from me. 'Cause they also had pictures of it. That's another thing. Like they were taking pictures.
So now they
have
had
my
pictures
sketch,
of it. Right, yeah. They could always print it from the picture.
Absolutely. And so the cops brought all the cops of the fair, felt like there, like so many.
There was like only like 4 of them.
It felt like so many though at the time.
There was a bunch of them. They stay in packs of 4 anyway.
Yeah,
especially
so
at the Ohio
they
State
all
Fair.
come over and like get the guy over, and the guy's like, well, I offered her 24 and she wouldn't take it. And I was like, no, I said I would take 20. Like the deal was 20 to start with, and then the cop's like, well, right here on the sign it says it's 24. Well, can't you read? And the guy was like, well, she said she'd take 20. I was like, I will take 24. He's like, well, I'll give you 10. And like he originally offered me 5 or something. Like it was, and he didn't even have $10 or $5 to give me. I don't know if his money fell out of his pocket or I don't know. But he literally didn't have the money. And if he had started with saying like, oh man, I don't have the money, it would have been okay. I'm so, whatever.
And there's ATM machines. There's ATM machines.
Whatever.
Around,
like it wouldn't have. But he went to the degree of like to shred me over it, and it was a good sketch. And so the cops ended up saying, well, you can pay her $20 right now, or you're gonna have to leave. And they chose to leave. And
didn't they also say that you won't be allowed to come back to the fair?
Yeah, they were banned from the fair.
They were banned from the fair.
What that actually means.
Yeah.
But the people had bought wristbands for the night, so like. They lost all that money.
They lost all the money on the wristbands, right?
Over this
to save their
stupid...
pride.
Yeah, to save their pride, basically.
Yeah.
So... That's my like horrible rejects. But I didn't cry. It was like
No.
one of the first rejects I got, and I didn't cry.
So you don't get rejects.
Not
like,
often.
You
Like,
go
when I-
years between rejects.
Because I stop them when people start to say that stuff that they started to do. I would have never drawn the sketch.
Okay, yeah.
I don't let it get to that point. Like once they start saying anything, I'll get up and I'll say, okay, you need to pay now, or I'm just gonna stop. You know, like, because if it's a good sketch, they have to pay, you know?
Right.
And people think that just if they can't see it, that they have the right to not pay, and that's not how caricature works.
Yeah, and so guys, this is like got to be the only time I've ever heard of anybody getting the police involved on a reject. So you deserve a fist bump for that. Yeah, way to stand up for yourself.
Rob
Honestly,
Hume did that one time
That was
when I
great.
working with him.
Oh, who did that?
Rob Hume.
Really?
Yeah, we were slow, and the guy had him redraw it like 3 times or something, and he was just like angry at that point. He got the security.
He got the security involved. And got him to
I
pay.
can see that, yeah.
Oh man.
Because you should really. It's theft of services, especially when you like explain to the people that they're going to have to pay,
Yeah.
and they still like put you through everything. Like it's theft of services. You have to pay for the time, not the product. It's an experience. So
Well, guys, that's going to be it for this one. This has been more of a.
we're all fired up now.
Yeah.
Ah!
Just eat
This
your
is
stew, Lo.
this is the kind of stuff that we kind of sit around and talk about when we're winding down
Oh, wait,
after
wait.
a day of caricature. What is it?
Beach, please.
Uh,
Perfect
this
napkin
is
for
this.
tonight.
This has been more of a podcast style video than anything else, but I hope you guys liked it anyway. And if you have, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up like button to let us know you liked it. Leave something down in the comments. What is your opinion on the situation? How would you have handled it? What do you think was going on there?
Have you ever rejected a caricature?
Have you ever received?
Who are you?
And do you have? I know many of y'all have worked retail as well. Give us your similar stories.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's got something like this that's happened with a really flaky customer. So give us some stories down in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to ring the bell icon and go over and select all to turn on notifications. Join the Facebook group. Share around. Become part of the Ashtoons family. We'd love to have you. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.